In this video, we're going to cover third-party payers in Chiro HD. Now, third-party payers is kind of an umbrella category of anybody that's responsible for a claim that is not the patient. So that includes insurance companies, attorneys, insurance companies that you're billing for PI cases or workman's comp cases. So it's not just insurance companies, it's also attorneys. So it's kind of an umbrella topic. You can set up third-party payers at the system level or the location level. Now, depending on the franchise, they may restrict locations from being able to add location-specific third-party payers, but this is a setting at the system settings, system configuration. Locations can add payers. So if this is toggled off, locations cannot add their own third-party payers, and they will choose from the system level database that they set up those third-party payers. If this is toggled to off, then locations can also add their own third-party payers as well as use a system database as well. To set up third-party payers at the system level, you're going to go to Insurance third-party payers, and here is a list in my test office of ones that are already set up. To add a new one, you're going to click Add System Third-Party Payer. To add them at the location, you're going to log into the location, Insurance Settings, Insurance Third-Party Payers. And here I can see the system payers and the location payers. So I can add a location third-party payer. Now again, if that feature is toggled off at the system level, you will not see this location pairs column. You'll just see system pairs. When you're setting up an insurance policy information, you do have to have the third-party payer set up first. So this is why it's one of the first steps in the setup for your office, because when I am setting up a policy, I have to be able to select that third-party payer from the drop-down menu. So if I go to Insurance Coverage, Add New Insurance Coverage, if you do not have the third-party payer set up, you will not be able to select it from this drop-down menu. So if I type in the name and the payer does not show up, that means you have not set up the third-party payer yet. So again, you have to set that up first to be able to set up a policy information for the patient. You also have to have that third-party payer set up first in order to bill out, in order to post an EOB, in order to run insurance reports. So it encompasses a lot, and that's why it is important to get your payers set up at the beginning or as they're coming in. So again, as we're talking about third-party payers, that includes, as we can see in this little test list, different Aetna payers, a law firm, Allstate. So any third-party payer that is responsible for a claim, you want to add them up under third-party payer. To add a third-party payer, you're going to click on Add Third-Party Payer. You will enter the name, so United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the attorney's name. You can add a short name. Payer type you can select, so group health plan would be like Blue Cross Blue Shield, or you have Medicare, Medicaid, these options below. If you have a contact name, as if it's like a law firm, you can add that here. Phone number, fax, and any state that it applies to. It does default to all, so you can keep it set to all if you would like. The phone number and fax come from the patient's insurance card, or when you call for an insurance verification, you ask where claims are sent to. That is where you will get the phone number, fax, and address. So you can have multiple Aetna payers because maybe this patient's claims are supposed to be sent to a different address than these claims. So that's why you might see multiple payers because they have different addresses. So again, this information is what you will receive from the insurance company. We do not manage this. We do not have a database for this, so it would be on the office's responsibility to obtain this information. Here you can select if this payer is required to be paper billed. So maybe there's a certain insurance company that requires paper billing versus electronic. You can set that distinction here. Use single date bills. You don't really have to check this anymore because in now Chiro HD we default and always do single day bills. uses referring provider. There are some insurance companies that require a referring provider to be selected on the claims, so you can add that here. Or there are some companies that require taxonomy codes, so you can set that setting here. Again, here is the address that you would get from the insurance company of where the claims are supposed to go to. Sometimes that doesn't make the biggest deal because most claims are electronically filed, but I do stress that you do want to have this information in there and accurate. Other information, this does say Office Ally Payer ID. We do need to update this to say Clearinghouse Payer ID now that we have an integration with Office Ally and TriZetto. But here, the Clearinghouse has specific ID numbers for that payer. So Aetna would have a certain payer ID, Blue Cross Blue Shield would have a certain payer ID, Medicare, so on and so forth. So you have to obtain that information from them. So I know Office Ally has a place on their website to find these. You may want to look on TriZetto or call them, but you want to add a payer ID in here because when you're sending a claim electronically, this is what will be attached in a file, this Office Ally Payer ID or Clearinghouse Payer ID. So then the Clearinghouse sees that ID number and knows that those claims are going to Blue Cross Blue Shield because it matches up the ID. So I do require that you add that in there so that your electronic filing goes smoothly. Once you have entered all the information, just hit Create Payer.